everyone, my name is Kadalini Mahendrayani and I'm going to explain about talk and action in sociolinguistics. In this chapter, we will discuss about the first one is speech acts, the second one is cooperation, and the third one is conversation. There are types of utterances according to G.L. Austin. The first one is constative. Constative utterance is utterance which do not action, without a performative verb that would direct the interlocutor to perform an action. The characteristics are describing or reporting something. The speech is just saying something. The message can be compared to the real world or declared true or false. For example, people might say snow is white or snow is red, which is the true and false utterances. But people, but they not involving performative verbs. The second types of utterances is performative. Performative is sentence that do not denote an action. It is when a speaker is not just saying something but is actually doing something. The first one is verdictive. Verdictives is giving a verdict, estimate, grade, or appraisal. For example, we find the accused guilty. Second one is exercise. The exercise is the exercising of powers, rights, or influences, as in appointing, ordering, warning, or advising. The example is, I pronounce you husband and wife. And the other example is, I'll be there at 9 o'clock. The third one is commissives, which is promising or undertaking and committing one to do something by. For example, is I hereby bequeath. The fourth is behaviotives. Is utterances which is apologizing, congratulating, blessing, cursing, or challenging. For example, is I apologize you or I congratulate you on your marriage. And the last is expositives, is a utterance which is used to refer to how one makes utterance feel into an argument or exposition. Was like, for example, is I argue, I play, or I assume. The next is felicity conditions. Austin mentioned certain felicity conditions that performatives must meet to be successful. And the characteristics of felicity conditions are the speaker should have the authority to perform that action. And the second is the intention should be understood by the hearer. The third one is the procedure must be executed correctly and completely. And the last one is the utterance should reveal clearly its consequences. For example, the mayor says, I name this ship Liberty Bell. So the mayor here, as a speaker, has the authority to perform that action. Speech acts. Austin 1962 defines speech acts as the action performed in saying something or an action performed by means of language. In general, speech acts are acts of communication by Batch, 1979. Types of acts. The types of acts. There are three types of acts by Leach. The first one is locutionary. It's an act of saying something. The second one is illocutionary, an act of doing something. And the last is perlocutionary, an act of affecting something. The first is locutionary. It is take action to say something. The act of locution contains a little literal meaning. For example, it's hot here. The meaning of its locus relates to the air temperature in that place. And the second one is I am hungry. It refers to the empty stomach and need to be filled without intending to ask for something or food on someone. And the second one is illocutionary. It is making the speaker act in accordance with what he says. This action contains meaning related to social function. For example, it is hot here. The meaning of the focus may be request to open the window. And the third one is perlocutory. It is doing an act by saying something. It have impact on their art feedback from interlocutor. For example, I'm hungry. The listeners react by offering food to the speakers. And the second one is it is hot here. Based on specific context, hot here being in a room or with windows and doors are closed, then the interlocutor uh, will open the window. So this is the example of one of the types of perlocutory.
I'm tired. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this too loud? Won't you just turn it off and come to bed?
So the transcript of the video in the first person saying, "Well, I'm tired," and the uh, hearer say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is this too loud?" And the speaker say, "Won't you just turn it off and come to bed?" This is the original illocutory utterance. In fact, perlocutory one. The next is the next sub is cooperation. According to Greece 1975, cooperation means that in communication people need to cooperate with others. Type of cooperation. There are four types of cooperation. The first one is quantity, second one is quality, the third one relation, and the last is manner. Quantity. Quantity requires you to make your contributions as informative as is required. It is required information only. For example, the speaker say, "I did not bring my wallet and I need 20,000 rupiahs to pay my food." And the hearer will give the 20,000 rupiahs for the speaker. From the conversation above, we expect A to lend him 20,000 rupiahs, not 25 or 30,000 rupiahs or uh, any else. Then next is quality. Quality requires you not to say what you believe to be false or that for which you lack adequate evidence. Every speaker must convey something true and based on clear evidence. For example, A says that who is the captain of 6A class, and B will say the captain is Arga. The information that A got from B is true. That is true that the captain of 6E class is Arga. Next is relation. Relation is the simple injunction that be relevant. It means that the speaker makes a relevant contribution to the topic subject. For example, A said that there is somebody at the door. and B, I'm in the bed. Say that I'm in the bed. In that sentence, A tells B that someone is coming and hopes B to open the door for the guest. But B says that he was in the bathroom at the time. The answer by B makes A to understand B condition at that moment, and A will open the door. The next is manner. Manner requires you to avoid obscurity of expression and ambiguity, and to be brief and orderly. It means that speaker is talking directly, not blur, not exaggerate or coherent. And it should be coherent. For example, Mark says, "Your cheeks look like tomatoes." Wendy said, "What do you mean? You mean my cheeks are like tomatoes?" Mark said, "No, I mean your cheek turn red right now." So it is the example of manner that express the ambiguity. The next is conversation. Conversation are a series of speech acts, greeting, inquiries, congratulations, commands, invitation, requests, and accusation. There are several kinds of conversation. First one is turn taking and pausing. When turn taking refers to a process by which people in conversation decide who is to speak next and who is the person will be as the speaker next. For example, A say, "Do you know what they exceeded last night?" And B say, "Silent, typing message on the phone." And A say that, "Can you hear me?" And B will put here or her phone and say that, "I'm sorry, what are you saying before?" The next is adjacency pair. Adjacency pair is the two-part exchange in which the second utterance is functionally dependent on the first, as shown in conversational greetings, invitations, and requests. For example, A said that, "Good morning, how are you?" And B will say, "Good morning, I'm fine." It's like a greeting. The next is opening and closing sequence. Openings is like greetings or general questions or comments about weather and etc. Closing like summing up, for example, "Okay, alright," or etc. And respond by interlocutor will be, "Okay, bye, see you later, take care," and something else. For example, A say that, "Hey, how are you doing?" And B will say, "Fine, how about you? Going to class?" A said that, "Calculus, I hate it." Keeps moving. And B, as the interpreter, said that, "Oh well, catch you later." And A say that, "Yeah, see you at the meeting." The italic words are the opening sequence, like "well, catch you later" and "see you at the meeting." The underlined words are the closing sequences. Okay, that's all about my presentation. Thank you for the attention. See you.